As we are pretty much the only English-speaking news outlet or, well, videos of this of any kind on YouTube, aside from some people that see this on the event floors, we felt it necessary to point out how different are the two Progress Technology eOne books from each other. On the left, we have the first generation Fist of the North Star edition, and on the right, we have the second edition 2019 Naruto model. Let's check it out. Super casual video here. We're just going to play around with these, look at them, see how they are different. So we'll start with the first generation. Just basically put that off to the side. First generation features Fist of the North Star, but it only features Fist of the North Star. You can't read anything else but this, and it is the full version, meaning it's everything. And that's what it says, Zenkan Hisatsu. That means everything in one volume, wholly in one volume, basically. But you do get a little bit of a restriction because you can't load anything in. It doesn't have a cartridge slot. There's no SD card slot. There's no USB port. All you have is the only thing that you can open up is the batteries down there in the back. And yes, it does run on batteries. Opening it up, it starts off with Fist of the North Star, which you can then just start reading immediately. And if you're wondering, everything's in Japanese, you say, oh no, they actually have a toggle button. You just press the toggle button, and in a second, everything staggered wise, because it always staggers everything, just like you're, flipping a page, everything changes from Japanese to English. So this is really cool because it really does cut down on language barriers, because English being a pretty international language, you can just basically change it anytime you want. Page turns are very nice, and it is staggered, like I said, because everything goes kind of like if you were, actually flipping a book, you'd see the one side first, etc. But again, all this is Fist of the North Star. On the outside, you get your little book jacket, and if you take that off, you get some cool imagery, but that's it. There isn't any way to load anything on. Well, they heard your concerns, and on the second one, it actually looks like this. That's all it looks like, because you have these. These are your volume cassettes or cartridges, or basically an SD card, because they look like that. It is literally an SD card. Get some focus on there. It's a Naruto SD card. This one in particular is the English model, and it is data protected, so the entire partition is held just for the content itself. And you buy these inside right here. So it has some information on how to load it up and everything like that. It just pops in here. We took it out for review purposes, of course. And on the back it says, how do I read it? Well, you just take it out, open up your device, put it in the main body, and away you go. So every single cover art will be on here. Well, most of them, they're kind of cut off, but everything will be on this card. So how they drastically changed everything is this. They put the cartridge slot, or a content cassette, I should say. So if you were to open up your number 2, it just says this. It says, wait a moment. And then it says you don't have any content loaded in, or you don't have any, it says the content cassette sonyu sarete imasen, and this is not inserted into the device. So it tells you put this in the main body of the device, and away you go. So it's all very quick, actually. You just match the shape, which I can't really see because of the lighting, but it just slides in there like that, and you're running the same batteries, AAA's at the bottom. Now once you open it, everything's very automated too, because there's no UI, there's no real home screen or anything like that. It just kind of turns on, and there you go. It actually picks up for where you last read too, because we had taken it out, as you saw on camera. Very nice page turns, still staggered. It's not really any faster or slower or anything as we can see it. You have a quick page jump that goes from number or chapter to chapter, or you can press the triple button that goes from volume to volume, and that's basically if you had the manga in your hand and you say number 20, well, I'm going to put that one aside and grab number 21 from my bookshelf. It'll be like that. Whereas this is the chapter because each book has many chapters and volumes inside of it. But you will notice right here, if you click on the same toggle button, it is gone. The toggle button now goes through a list of your table of contents on the device. It does not switch from English to Japanese. And they did this because they have licensing issues with certain retailers and certain manufacturers and developers and writers and production departments. So the people that made Fist of the North Star, they licensed the English and Japanese version for this, so they are allowed to have the toggle button. But for the individual cartridges, like for example Naruto, this particular set was only licensed to be in English, so they have the English data on the card. You can no longer switch it from device to device. Now this is a really bad shot because these things are very long. We are going to try to get both on camera, and I was able to a little bit earlier by just kind of sandwiching them together. It is a very difficult shot, and this thing is a really wide frame. In terms of the quality of the two, they're using the same device. They're using the same shell, the same hardware, and the paper on the device is the exact same height and pile. They haven't really changed anything in that regard. There's some little minor changes. For example, if you look here, they had a little grouping of stack of paper that kind of didn't line up with the device body. But then on this one, it's actually lined up. So just kind of a really geeky thing to notice, but it is true and it bears mentioning. So in terms of the differences, the main core differences would be that the version 2 on the right still has a SD card slot for running the data protected content. It doesn't run anything else, and there's no UI or file manager launcher or even any home screen whatsoever for you to manage the data. So if you're thinking you could load your own stuff in and chuck it on here, you can't do that because it only reads the cassettes or SD card that they provide. And on the left is just the individual volume. So if you are getting the first generation, just know that it'll only be the one thing that you're getting, whether you get Fist of the North Star or if you find some Sailor Moon or whatever the case may be. In the first edition hard body, it'll be just that. This one with the SD card slot will allow you to run multiple series, but you will have to buy these cartridge sets in order to get the series on your device. In terms of that, that's cool because it does open up a lot of flexibility, and when you buy the first gen, it's one and done, where if you buy this, the device is now open. You can buy, I don't even watch anime anymore. I guess Bleach or, Hunter x Hunter or Full Metal Alchemist, all the popular ones I know at least, One Piece. They're going to be releasing those, but there is no indication on whether they'll be available in English or even sold outside of Japan. We have offices in Canada, America, and Japan, so we are trying to work with these guys to see if we could get some sort of collaboration going and cooperation and see if we can bring these to you, and we'd be the first guys to know. So if these are going to be available, keep following goodyreader.com for more updates. But for now, these are the core differences between the first generation eOne book and the second generation that are running the card cassette system. For goodyreader.com, this is Peter.